Hello, and welcome to the Great Game Debate podcast, where friends come together to talk about video games and our lives. As always, I'm your host, Kate Berthe Lane, and of course, I'm joined by the godfather of the debate himself, Jonah Gomez. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, dude, I'm doing so good. We got Resident Evil 4 Remake coming out. Mateo bought his tickets to go to PAX. Things are looking good,
Plans
man.
coming together.
Yes, sir. We're going to be doing a big old group thing up at PAX, and might even
first
be able to
community
do
meetup.
some media coverage there too. So
Yeah.
that's going to be
It's gonna be
pretty.
so rad.
It's going to be pretty exciting.
Sick. And yeah, we were just talking about you, Mateo. How you been doing, buddy, this week?
I've been doing pretty good, dude. I took a bunch of time off this week to just kind of get like a mental reset and to ride
Nice.
my motorcycle, and then it rained for 4 days in a
you're a
row.
biker.
Oh,
Cool.
no.
Man.
Did you get on the bike at all or
Did
not?
not get on
Just
the
had a
bike
fight.
all the time, dude.
Damn.
That sucks. Cool. And that's, of course, is the Saucy Aussie, Stephen Beaumont. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. I'm hyped. I got friggin' Knotfest Australia coming up, so I'm getting a little bit of a pre-buzz just to, get ready for the alcohol that I'm about to imbibe. So I'm sorry if I slur
Train your
my
body.
speech this podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to train the liver. And our special guest this week is a video game retro collector, Jacob Ashley, a friend of Jonah. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Appreciate
Yeah, of
it.
course. Thank you for
Hell
taking
yeah.
time out of your day to be on the show. Well, Jacob, I hope you stopped by New Donk City and picked up Jumpman's hammer because it's time for the icebreaker. All right, question comes in this week from Traveling Snowman, Discord member, shout out. If you had to play one game every year for the rest of your life, what would it be? Has to be a full playthrough. This is kind of a spin on the Desert Island question because that would be like a game that you think you would never get tired of if you could only play one game forever. But this is a game you're being forced to play once a year amongst your normal life and other games. So maybe you don't want that Desert Island game for this game. Anything jump out for anyone on this question?
I mean, I could do like an easy one and just I feel like an arcade game is probably the easiest.
You just
for
do
this.
the 1 quarter.
Yeah,
get
so
one
like
life.
you could do you could do Tetris, but I'm gonna level it up a little bit and let's go. This is a shout out to my buddy Jared. We're gonna do Geometry Wars.
Wow.
Geometry Wars. Okay.
Geometry Wars.
I'm
is
gonna
so
have
sick.
to. I'm gonna have to say definitely Donkey Kong for me, just because
Yeah.
if we're gonna do, because I've been playing so much Donkey Kong, my like years and years of it, and I was trying to become like a really like star player for a while.
Mhm.
But that's just a game that I literally played for almost a year straight every single day, and I still never got bored of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's probably up there with Tetris. It's
Watch
just one of
out,
those
Billy
perfect
Mitchell.
games. Yeah.
I might go FTL. I feel like
Yeah. Roguelike.
I feel like it wouldn't be like, I think it's on brand. FTL is probably one of my favorite games of all time. I just feel like I wouldn't get bored of it, and plus the playthroughs are pretty quick because especially if you're
Yeah.
bad at that game, like you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
die real fast.
A roguelite or roguelike is a good choice
That's a
because
good
if you're only
choice,
playing
yeah.
it once a year, then the experience will be slightly different each time.
But he
That's-
said to completion, so like if you're picking Hades, that's
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah.
it's pretty brutal.
It's just 10 runs. That's easy. I can knock that out in one day. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's like 15 minutes around. Man, that kind of makes me want to pick Hades. That would be a great pick for this.
Yeah.
Just to redo that once a year. Other roguelites would be really good. Dead Cells, Rogue Legacy 2. Yeah, I'm just trying to think back to like my old like favorite like PS2 games and stuff. Maybe like old Capcom games, maybe something like a PS2 Onimusha or like Devil May Cry or Resident Evil or something, because those games are, if you know what you're doing, those games aren't more than like 3 or 4 hours and just short and sweet.
Honestly, a
Yeah.
little surprised that no one said like Skyrim or something, because As much as I
But it's too long. It's too long to be. If you don't
we're
have
all
to finish
afraid
it,
of
it's
having to
fine.
play it once a year. You'll
Yeah.
fucking hate
Okay.
Skyrim.
I feel
No,
like me
one
personally.
actually finishes Skyrim. Like
That's
yeah.
true too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd never have. I feel like I wanted to stay away from like 3D graphics and stay for like pixel stuff that I feel is not going to feel dated at some
Yeah.
point in my life. I don't need to be 60 years
Yeah.
old going back to try to play, Vigilante
Yeah.
8 or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think that covered
Um,
everybody. Or did we get Steven?
No.
the forgotten one.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny how that works? Is like with like super retro, like NES and like those days, those don't get remastered. Those are just kind of good. But then like the middle stuff, Xbox original, PlayStation 1 and 2, those have gotten like a remastered. It's like those don't go with the times. It's okay to be super pixelated, just not polygonish. It's we want to change that up a little bit.
Yeah, so my actual answer would obviously be it's one that I actually do go back to, which is Banjo-Kazooie. I literally played it 1 year and 1 day from release on NSO.
That or like
I love
Mario
going
64.
back to Banjo. But probably I would even say just for the feeling of how good the platforming is, man, like Mario Odyssey is just such a good 10 hours.
Yeah.
Such a good
That's
10
fair.
hours of gameplay.
That game holds up.
I'd also say like Journey, but I feel like if I had to play it every single year of my life, it wouldn't
I'd get bored of it.
as good. I feel like every 3 years playing Journey is like, oh, that's a good sweet spot.
That's fair.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you, Traveling Snowman, for the question. Great question as always. We appreciate them. So Jacob, we'll put you in the hot seat real quick for a little bit. I just wanted to say right now, what's on my mind is that I feel like audio listeners are kind of missing out just because you're like looking fly as hell right now. Like the mustache is so well groomed. Like the choice of frames for the lenses, like you're like putting Hideo Kojima to shame with those like AFA sunglasses. Not to mention the literal wall of arcade machines behind you right now.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I just never grew out of the 80s. You know what I mean? It's like when we bought this house we're currently in. When we walked downstairs into the basement and you see it had the wood paneling on the walls, it was done. I said, I don't know. There's just something about that era. I know that a lot of people, if you grew up through a lot of the 80s, I was born in the 80s, so I got the tail end of it. But a lot of people that grew up through the 80s say there was a lot of roughness to it. But I just liked the culture. I mean, just the music that came out of it, the games. Obviously, it was kind of the birth. I know a lot of retro games came out in the late 70s. But, that was the boom, was the 80s. That's when it exploded. So I just like the culture. I'm so random, but yeah, the glasses. I don't know. I gotta keep it retro. I gotta keep it retro.
Yeah.
Can we get a rundown of what you actually got? Cabs and machines.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look around here, but as you see behind me, I've got a Comet Pinball by Williams. I've got Williams Firepower. That one was actually the first pinball machine with a multi-ball.
Oh, okay.
So,
nice.
Yep. And then we've got Miss Pac-Man, Galaga.
Yeah.
This is Frogger.
Okay.
Nice.
And then next to Frogger, you can kind of see the edge of it, but that is an original Japanese Burger Time.
Wow.
So yeah, it originally was on this machine, and then a company in America bought the rights for it, and then they turned it into like that yellow cabinet with the big chef on the side that you see. If you guys know the sides of the arcade machines, but that's the Japanese version of it. I also have a Dig Dug.
Classic.
I've got I got a Joust, a Mario Brothers wide body, which is a Mario Brothers. You guys remember Mario Brothers, the original, not Super Mario, but just Mario Brothers, where it's Mario and Luigi and the pipes and the creatures come out of the pipes. The wide body is just a wider arcade cabinet, so two people can stand in it comfortably.
Nice.
I have a Dr. Mario that I custom made for my wife because that's her favorite game, and I want her to come in the game room, so I had to make her a game for her. And still to this day, I have like 20 games and 2 pinball, and she'll just hang out with her Dr. Mario. And then my personal favorite, Donkey Kong. I've also got a Donkey Kong Jr. and a Donkey Kong 3, all in their original cabinets. I've got a Fix-It Felix because when that movie came out, it was awesome. So I created a original Fix-It Felix.
Wow!
I did not know that.
Yeah, so Disney for promotion. When they made Fix-It Felix, they took Donkey Kong cabinets or replicated the Donkey Kong cabinet and turned them into Fix-It Felix. The original ones by Disney, they actually made a few of them for the parks that people could play while the movie was out. You could walk up and play the Fix-It Felix games, or the Fix-It Felix game. And inside the arcade cabinet, there was a PC, and it was running just an exe file of the game, and it was built really nice. Points, you get a point system, save high score. Anyways, so somebody got a hold of one of those machines eventually when they started to sell them off, and stripped the ROM file, which is awesome, and then sent it out to everybody. So I'm running that Disney EXE on a computer in my Fix-It Felix. So it's close
That's
to
gotta
it.
be like the most hipster thing I've ever heard of.
So then I've got a Popeye, which is 1981. It came out before Donkey Kong. So originally, I don't know if you guys know the story about Popeye and Donkey Kong, but they're related as far as video games. Nintendo originally wanted Donkey Kong to be Popeye. And to make a long story short, they couldn't acquire the rights. So they changed Bluto to Donkey Kong and
lucky us, right? That could have changed the course of video game history forever if Mario and Donkey Kong were never created.
Imagine if we were all playing like the 180 Popeye's games.
Odyssey.
Oh my god, Popeye's Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Popeye Kart 8 Deluxe.
Would he change hats, or would he change like tattoos that are on his arm for his power?
So then Donkey Kong was such a huge success that then they got the rights for Popeye, and they another company had Popeye made into the arcade cabinets as an upgrade for a Donkey Kong machine. Go figure. And Popeye didn't do as well. And Popeye is its own game. I don't know if you guys have ever played the original arcade version of Popeye, but it's cute. But I have it because I have what is called a Nintendo row, and that's because they're all the same shape arcade machine. All Nintendos are that Donkey Kong shape. So I wanted like the row of all of them. I'm only missing a couple though. The original arcade cabinet, which was a red Donkey Kong, was called Radar Scope, and those are super rare. But that was one of the first arcade games for Nintendo. I also have a Missile Command. I don't know if you guys know that one. And then I have an Asteroids because everybody needs an Asteroids.
Missile Command was definitely Terminator 2.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was about to ask, is that the one they're playing in Terminator 2?
Yeah, that was John Connor was playing that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And then I have a Neo Geo. Everybody loves Neo Geo.
Okay.
This one.
Hell yeah.
It's a 2 slot, so it technically can have 2 games in it. There's also a single Neo Geo. I think there's also a 4 slot Neo Geo. But I have a system in it that has like 100 Neo Geo games that you just hold 2 buttons down and then you can choose everything.
Nice.
Metal Slug.
So, and then I have a Centipede, which is right there. You see him?
Yeah,
Centipede right there.
Yes.
And then Centipede, and then I have my last machine in here. Actually, I also have a cocktail machine, which is the flat Domino's one.
Oh, okay.
Or not Domino's, but Pizza Hut. You remember when we had the little tabletop Pac-Man machines? I have one of those.
Those are fun.
And then finally, I have a Raspberry Pi arcade machine. So I put So it's running Raspberry Pi. I put all the ROMs for. I own all the games, by the way. But I put the ROMs from the games I own on this arcade machine, so I have
nice.
a lot of arcade games and video and console games to fill the rest of my want with, if I don't get enough with just the original ones.
Now, have you made your own like tokens that you can go and put like $1 in so you can get like tokens with your face on them to go and play the games?
Oh my god, it's been a dream of mine, but I haven't sent a free play, but for a while there I had a bowl of quarters and I would have parties, and every party I would have a little less quarters. I'm like, really, guys?
Oh, man. Oh, come on.
They needed to call the cab home.
Yeah. But I mean, it all started with this Miss Pac-Man, and it really just it was when I was growing up, a vivid memory of mine was going to the laundromat, and they always had a centipede and a Miss Pac-Man, and that was like my first real like deep memories of playing video games, because I remember I wasn't tall enough to look at the screen. I remember I was holding the joystick like that, and just like trying to play and just brutally dying on Miss Pac-Man, right? So when I was given the opportunity to buy this broken one, it wasn't working at all. Me and a buddy had done a bunch of research, got into the local community for arcade repair, and few bucks later and a lot of research and rewiring and updating stuff, we were able to fix it. And once you do that on the cheap, you then get another one, and then you get another one, and then thank God for Leah, my wife, for letting me continue to grab them. But the basement is full. The basement is full.
all I can say is I'm calling out Chris Logan from the Best of the Rest podcast. There's an arcade debate in your future with you and Jacob.
Oh,
he buys the arcade 1-ups. So that's definitely in your future.
So I'm curious if you give us kind of the insight into the mind of a retro collector. Like, were you into it before you got that first Miss Pac-Man machine, and then you just got hooked, or like, I mean, how did it happen?
Yeah. So, I have always been into toys and video games. I feel like whenever I think about my life, because I have strong ADHD, it was always super focused on video games. Like, those were the things I could keep my attention to, whereas in school and paying attention in general was always tough for me. So I feel like it created this bond, playing with toys and playing with video games, that it was this like core, structure for me growing up. So I feel like I like always kept a hold of my toys. Like, growing up, I'd always stuff that I grew up with, and everyone's got like that. I had the original, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars toys. My mom sold them at a garage sale talk. Everyone has that.
Yeah.
But I don't. I always seem to hold on to them and keep them in a box. And my mom was super awesome that she would always keep those favorites of mine, which I have a 12-year-old now. And it's weird, like every era of him, like I've known his favorite toy, I literally put it in a box. Not that he's going to understand this little Duplo Woody that I have, but it's just this random obsession of mine to hold on to old toys. And I think that has also just, as I got older, it brought back a lot of nostalgia for me to then find toys that I didn't hold on to, that I'm like, oh my God, I totally had this. Is that pure endorphin rush of finding a toy that you remember that you didn't. And this is like stupid McDonald's toys, or, everyone's got it. And then, that just goes into then me, becoming older. And it's one of those things that just, you don't get sick of. It's kind of a hunt, at the same time. Now, when you go to like an expo and you're going to find a retro game, or you're going to find a retro toy, it's just that little blast of excitement from the hunt. Yeah. And then that kind of led into the arcade games, because then that also was a hunt, and it was also a memory of, I have stories about Miss Pac-Man, like I just told you, or Centipede being in the laundromat. And then them themselves now have created their own stories of friendship, me friends, and collecting, and then leads me to you guys, because of something as simple as me taking apart a Game Boy on, a few days after Christmas to be like, how does this thing work? And
That's
just
great.
getting into it.
One quick thing I just want to jump on before we move on, but like, there's something so inexplicable to explain about like how good the hunt feels. Like, it's the same thing as gambling and stuff. It's like my son has always asked about like Luigi's Mansion 2 and wanting to get that, and I'm like, yeah, but we've got to actually go. We can't buy it digitally. We have to go to a pawn shop and look, or go to a garage sale or a yard sale and like look and find it, because like there's just something so good about the hunt. Whereas like buying something digitally just doesn't get that same juice.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, does the availability of buying things, just Googling it and buying it from some random reseller on eBay or something, does that hit that same need you have with the hunt, Steven?
I don't get it. Nope. At all.
So one last question, unless anybody else thinks of something, but I'm curious, just Jacob, how your relationship is with newer games. Like, do you really jump into current releases much ever, or is it pretty much strictly like retro gaming for you?
Yeah, no, I do. And I own right now currently I have a Nintendo Switch, I have a Xbox One, and I have a PlayStation 4. So, I don't have the PlayStation 5. It's hard for me, and I'm glad you guys are, because I am very retro and classic driven. My point with trying to jump into something like a PS5 is, and this is a problem with a lot of consoles. I know you guys know this, but it's that thing of remaking the stuff. You've got this game for PS4, but you've got a better looking version of it on PS5. And I want solid, like, this is PS4's content, enjoy it for what it is, now we're going to PS5's content. And that would be me going, oh, this is exciting. But I think it's that remake, and Nintendo does it too. I'm a big Nintendo fan. We all know their remaster this, and it's just all the same old stuff, and that's a whole nother story. But to answer your question, I do play a lot of retro stuff, but I do try to play like the big releases on the newer games. If they have it for PS4, I do appreciate it. But I still do enjoy the newer games. Now, do I have the time to play a game? This is the big thing with me too, is with a retro game, you can play that in an afternoon for a couple hours and be done with it. Take the game out, you're good.
Yeah, that's great.
With something, the last big, huge game I got into, and I mean like really got into, was Red Dead. And I mean, I was like invested, 40 plus hours, 50 plus hours, and I was like, oh my God. But nowadays, it's like these games are just as big, if not bigger. And I'm like, I don't know how I could enjoy it without having the time to enjoy it.
I think we all can relate to that, because like oftentimes you that'll be like a selling point that someone will put up. It's like 60 plus hours, and it's like, nah, I'll pass. I don't got time for that. But you hear that sweet 15, it's like, I'm in, baby. Let's go.
15.
That's a weekend of gaming, and then I'm done.
And I think I told you this too, Jonah, is like sometimes you might, and I know you guys all feel me on this, sometimes you might start one or two games too many. And then you have like a handful of games, and you're like, and then a year later you're like, oh my God, I forgot I was like 25% into that game and I never finished it.
Yeah, I feel that.
See, and for me, at that point, I have to start the damn game over.
Yeah.
Because my memory is terrible. I don't remember the story, and I need the story in like one cohesive unit in my mind.
Man, that is The Witcher 3 for me. Is like I got to the very end, and was like, oh, I'm not done with it. And then I was like, you know what? I'll finish it tomorrow, or I'll finish it later this week. And then Fallout 4 came out, and then I was like, here's 150 plus hours in Fallout 4, and then I tried to go back to The Witcher 3, and I'm like, I have no idea. And I'm like, oh God,
RPGs
these
are hard,
controls, I don't remember the
story,
controls.
your character build.
Like, okay, I'll restart. And I restarted, and I was like, I just don't want to go back through this again. So... Yeah, I feel it. It's Witcher 3 for me. That's my
shout out to the brevity and simplicity of retro games. Cool. Well, we appreciate you withstanding our grilling, Jacob. And with that, I'll turn things over to Jonah for the debate.
Let's get into this debate. We got a Jumpman debate with my boy Jacob Ashley representing Super Mario 3 versus Mateo representing Super Mario World. Are you gonna show the class?
I've heard that the editor will put that in
post.
Yeah, we'll put it in post.
With some shimmer, you need the reflection and everything.
Wow! We'll get the like the anime wow sound going in. Each contestant will have 2 minutes per round to represent their game. Jacob, you chose to close out the debate, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, so Mateo, you will go first. We have Stephen Beaumont as our assist trophy today. Look at him, looking lovely as ever, drinking his drink.
Golden snapback.
Golden snapback, Stephen Beaumont. So we'll have our opening, 2-minute opener, 2-minute rebuttal, and 2-minute close. Mateo, are you ready, sir?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
So, let's go back to our childhoods. Super Mario World was not actually the first Mario game I played. I'm a little older than y'all. I had an older brother. I grew up on a lot of the 80s games. Super Mario 3 has a very special place in my heart. I actually kind of hate that I have to debate against it. but let's talk Super Mario World, because I feel like it might have been like the best that we got until probably Mario 64. I think that those might be like the 2 top gems of like the classic era of Mario. There's just so much to love about it. The music is amazing, absolutely amazing. I still get songs stuck in my head. Oh, yeah. That athletic theme gets stuck in my head all the time. I go back and listen to like orchestra covers of like songs from Super Mario World.
Heck yeah.
I feel like the movement was nailed down. There, you felt weight when you were moving around. The cape was probably the best power up of my entire childhood when it came to Mario. Everyone wanted to get the fire power, the fire flower, and run around with that. The cape is the king. The cape was absolutely the king. The levels were repeatable. The world felt like it was connected. You had this gorgeous, beautiful overworld. As you were going through it and beating levels, it would open up new areas of exploration and possibilities, loaded with secrets. Mario interacts with the world. He straight up smashes a castle to the ground with his own feet in Super Mario World. I think he sends one off on a rocket, like fires it off to the moon, basically, one of these dungeons that he defeats. They added checkpoints to in Mario World. Game changer. I'm terrible at platformers. I love them, but I'm terrible at them. I needed that. I needed those little, like those handicapped, those crutches to get me along the stage. Mario got new moves. He got his spin jump. Not to mention, this was the debut of Yoshi, possibly the most beloved character aside from Mario in the series.
Not that Yoshi. That was strong.
That was a very good opener, Mateo. Was good. That was very good. All right, Jake.
So Mateo can open and close.
All right, Jacob, you got your 2-minute opener thought. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, debate.
Look at this. Would you just look at it?
Yep.
This is the image. I don't care who you are. This one tops all of those cover images. You go through a retro gaming expo, you see a poster of this, you know exactly what it is. You know this image because this kind of is like the artwork in all of the manuals. That's just one point of it. But let's talk the game. The creation of overworld map in all the Mario games. Before that, Mario 2, Dream State, what the hell was that? And can I say hell?
Yeah,
is that
good.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want.
You you got your map. Also, you wouldn't have the cape if you didn't have the tail, because we were flying before the cape with Mario 3. Also, music superb. I have to agree with Mateo though. Music in both games were absolutely incredible. They both can get stuck in your head, but there's just something to me that just sticks a little bit better with Mario 3. Also, the I lost my train of thought right there. I'm trying to take notes as
good.
But yeah, I do enjoy the classic feel. Also, just the it just gives you all the childhood vibes. I do agree with
30 seconds.
Yeah.
You've got 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Shake it off the rest.
Yeah.
And then also the boss fights. So in Mario 2, I don't believe. Oh, there was boss fights in Mario 2, but there were some good boss fights in Mario 3 too.
All right, leaving it there with 10 seconds.
The Genesis argument.
I'm not really winning this argument against Mateo.
Hey, it all comes down to a vote. It all comes down, and this is only the first round. You know.
So if you're ever bringing up these these prequel versus sequel debates, you gotta use the Chris Logan low blow of the Michael Jordan. Like that's it. That's how he won the debate.
All right, Mateo, you've got 2 minutes on the clock for your rebuttal. 3, 2, 1, debate.
I can't disagree. That raccoon tail is it's better functionally than the cape, 100%. But I feel like it's too overpowered. Didn't that thing basically have infinite fly? If you figured out how to use it properly, you could just skip every stage if you wanted with that tail.
That was the P-wing.
I am thinking of the P-wing. Okay, the P-wing is overpowered. I guess the tail is still pretty cool. I mean, I will say Mario 3, some of the power-ups they have are pretty damn cute. But I always feel like I get pulled into these debates that are like these legacy versus the new upstart kind of debates.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a lot of respect that I have for the stuff that came before, especially because I'm an older gamer. But Mario World it feels like it improved upon almost everything that came before it in just the best ways. I don't think that there's any system in any of the previous Mario games that it didn't improve upon. I don't think there's any missteps. I mean, honestly, Mario World might be one of the best games for the Super Nintendo, which is such a wild claim, considering there's like Chrono Trigger and all these beautiful RPGs. Super Mario World somehow just did it better. Like they made it just so memorable, this goofy little platforming game. I think that the pixel art direction they went with it, the way that they designed everything, I think it still holds up. I don't think that there's really any way to improve upon the designs here. I think that there's indie devs that still struggle to get animations and fluidity that looks as good as in Super Mario World. And let's talk about the marketing of Super Mario Bros. 3. I think we have to talk about the marketing. The Wizard is not a good movie. It is not a good movie. And I'm actually a little upset that I had to spend way too much time in my childhood rewatching that movie because my brother was convinced that it was a good movie. Power Glove was bad.
All right, Jacob, you've got 2 minutes on the clock for your rebuttal. Remember, you both still have your assist trophy. 3, 2, 1, debate.
First, I want to start off by saying Mario World is one of my favorite games. I love that game. But I gotta say, there's just... And the thing is, the pixel work is amazing too, but when you're thinking of the 8-bit simplicity over the 16-bit simplicity, I just feel like there's just something just so much more memorable to me when I see Mario in 8-bit than I do in Mario in 16-bit. Yes, there's more colors and much more appealing to a generation. Plus, we have to kind of just what era are you from? You know what I mean? Of course, somebody that's born in the Super Nintendo days are going to probably be more keen to enjoying this game more. I grew up on Mario 3, so I appreciate where they were going with it. Now, this might be blasphemy. This might be blasphemy when I say this, but I liked the Wizard. Okay, I liked the Wizard. I actually showed my son Wizard, and we were weirdly pulled to play Mario 3 afterwards. So they did what they were doing. They did well of what they were doing. But that said, I just feel like the fact that it has the map that kind of started that whole system that still comes to Switch these days, and it was the means for the Super Nintendo version. I do think that there are better mechanics in the Super Mario World as far as different suits that you can get through the game. I just enjoy the fact of just the classic birth of kind of just every Mario game created from this one game. It's the godfather of Mario.
Ooh. Pulling the Godfather card out right there at the end. Ooh.
Get your orange slices out, lads.
Oh,
It's
man.
Godfather time.
That was good. All right, guys. We're going into round 3. Huh?
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
We're going into round 3 of our closing thoughts. You both still have your assist trophy. You don't have to use Steven if you don't want to, but that is an additional 30 seconds that you guys can use. Mateo, are you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, debate.
Okay, before we close this one out, I want to talk about my favorite aspect of Super Mario World. I did not get my replay through that I wanted to do this week in preparation for this debate for various reasons. But let me talk about my favorite thing about the game. The verticality. I feel like Mario World is the first one that really wanted you to venture up. The Mario games were designed around this idea of you move from the left side to the right side, and that is the level. That's the whole level design. Mario World took advantage of, the new hardware to make this verticality aspect. There were secret exits from stages, and it made the game feel just more grown up. Like we had finally gotten into a new stage of Mario. And every iteration of Mario since, they've built upon this. Mario 64, we're now in 3D. We can move wherever we want to. You can move left, right, forward, back, whatever. It grows every single time. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought completely. How fun! Let's talk about repeatable levels. The ability. I feel like Mario 3. It's been a while since I played it, but I feel like you can't go back and repeat stages. Is that I think that's accurate. If I'm not, feel free to rebut that. Mario World, though, had these repeatable stages. Sure, you could cheese it. You could go and get that cape before you go into every new stage and things like that. But for a little tiny pea brain like me that is bad at platforming games, this is the exact level of assistance that I needed. Let's pop that Steven assist.
All right.
Let's talk about loss. There is no The Last of Us without first losing Yoshi.
What?
You have to sacrifice your companion to succeed in Mario World. And that is more impactful than any loss you'll ever experience in The Last of Us. Also, just look at that damn pixel art. God damn! That's some good looking 16-bit graphics. My God, that is the best looking game ever made. The end.
All right, you still got 30 seconds, Mateo.
Cool. I want to preemptively respond to some of the Mario slander. From what I've researched recently, I've done hours and hours and days of research on this. Mario is not actually punching Yoshi in the back of the head. That's just slander. He is pointing to where Yoshi needs to attack. So we could just pull that slander out of this entire argument in case that's going to come up as a point. Mario's not actually sacrificing Yoshi. There's obviously like a platform or a stage below that he's knocking him to. There's no Yoshi extinction event happening in Mario's hands.
Okay, Jacob, are you ready to close this thing out?
So ready.
3, 2, 1, debate.
All I gotta say about Mario 3, and I know your guys listening, gals listening, people out there listening, simplicity. It's not about the craziness. It's not about the stress of going, did I get everything? Did I get all the secrets? Is there something I'm missing? As a completionist, it's nice to know that you got everything. And that's what I like about Mario 3. It is simple. It is simple. Now, there is something magical finding, like in world, let's say, you found an extra path that cuts level, or you found the infamous tube zone with all the tubes that you did all the crazy spots in Mario World. But you wouldn't have known about that stuff, and if you found out about it later on, I feel like you felt cheated, like you didn't get the fullest grasp of the game. Now, that said, there are little secret spots in Mario 3 that was kind of the creation of that. You know, in World 2, you can go over on the map a little bit more and find some extra stuff, which was fun. Word of mouth, read a Nintendo Power magazine that you could find about those things. You know, it was portrayed in a movie as a release. You know, it was a big moment in Nintendo history. To, you know, maybe the movie wasn't your thing.
30
but
seconds.
It was a video game that debuted on a movie. Who does that? Who debuts a video game through a movie? You can't do that these days. Mario 3 did it. And I want to get it over to Steven for his thoughts.
All right, Steve-O, you got 30 seconds.
Once again, let's talk about legacy. The legacy that Mario 3 has is Yoshi's Story, Yoshi's Woolly World, Yoshi's Crafted Story, Paper Mario in general. The idea that this game is a stage play, exit stage right, is just phenomenal. It led to the most creative Mario games that have ever been made. No other Mario game has made them think of something so inventive as what Super Mario 3 did. And that's its passing and living legacy.
Jacob, you've got 20 seconds left.
Right. All I gotta say is one more time. Look at that image. Just look at it. Would you just look at it?
It's so good.
It's beautiful.
It's jolly.
It's amazing.
It's so jolly.
It is. When I just lifted that up, don't tell me that it just didn't bring back a little pop every single
Skip
time.
the beat.
Time. Very good. Oh,
That was
man.
good.
Damn.
Jacob, I wanted you to bring up those phone lines that we could call into, the phone lines that Nintendo set up for the games.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been brought up in the rebuttal, I would have brought up the sun, because F that sun.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you guys notice that for the new Mario movie, they actually had a number you could call?
Yes, I did call it.
yeah.
I did call
Oh my
it.
god! You guys gotta put that in the show
commercial.
notes. Gotta put that in
Yeah.
the show
Yeah.
notes.
That's pretty great.
All right, Caden, as our standby, let's get your thoughts, man. This is a good one. This was a good debate.
All right, this one is kind of tough for me because I don't have the legacy, you know? Like, I'm coming from the perspective of a 90s kid who started with PS1 and Nintendo 64, so I don't really have nostalgia pulling me one way or the other. So, you know, when I hear Mateo's argument that is just like, it's almost like a linear improvement, it's just gameplay's better, music's better, I'm just kind of like, I don't know, Super Mario World, I guess. Like, the only thing that almost trips me up, it's kind of like a trap card, like a mind trick. I see that cover art, man. That's just like that Mario Bros 3 cover art it's got to be like,
how can it be so simple and be such a 10 out of 10?
it's just incredible. And like the
it
Super
is
Mario
over
World
the
one
top.
kind of
Good.
sucks, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
it's
That's
just really
it's
good.
wild that it's so good.
Yeah,
Like,
so
we laugh at like Marvel movies that are just like heads,
floating
you know,
heads.
underneath a title, and that
Yeah.
just Mario 3 is so good. It's
I have
just
to ask
jolly.
Jacob, did you color coordinate with the Mario's 3 cover on purpose today?
Maybe.
Oh my god! But yeah, if I resist the allure of the Mario Bros 3 cover, I think just based on like the gameplay, you know, it's like, well, if Mario World's better, I guess it gets my vote. But Mateo also did bring it with the debate and the argument. It was solid. So yeah, I'll give Mateo my vote today.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
And Steven, as with this trophy, let's hear your thoughts, man.
I didn't get a chance to bring up the P-Wing, but the fact that Mateo brought it up as a negative, man, like skipping parts of the game is my favorite thing. Like in gaming, like the fact that like every time you break Breath of the Wild's like puzzles, it's just like, oh, it's so phenomenal.
You do that with the cape in World, like you can just
but my God, I am so terrible at it, and that is probably my one detractor from Super Mario World. I remember playing Super Mario Maker. Like I bought my Wii U for Super Mario Maker, and the first time I went into like an expert level that was Super Mario World was just like, oh, just fly straight up. And I'm like, how? Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, it was just wild. So like whenever you give a point to your opponent is usually where I draw the line, because this has been such an even fight. Because God, they're both so great. I'm gonna give it to Jacob on this one.
Very nice.
Fair.
All right, I guess I'm the tiebreaker on the episode.
Ooh.
Oh man. God, Mateo.
You can hear like the "Who Wants to Be a Millionaire."
Yeah, I know, dude. This is so hard because
I'm sweating under these studio lights, dude.
Yeah. I grew up playing both these games, and you know, they both participants took me back to playing both these games. And it's like Mateo's talking about the great music, and it's like, oh yeah, the athletic theme, dude, it's so good. Good. Like just running around on Yoshi, eating apples off the trees, eating enemies and whatnot. But you got the OG of like that really good like 8-bit pixel art of Mario 3 and the Tanuki tail and being able to fly with the P-Wing. Oh, dude, this is so hard for me. I think my vote's going to Jacob though, because Mario 3, like myself, is the Godfather.
Damn. I just want to give a hot take. I don't think that Nintendo did 8-bit graphics as good as their competitors. Like, I think Konami or like, you know, whoever did Ninja Gaiden, like that looks so much better than like Kirby's Adventure or like Super Mario 3. No offense, but like, yeah, that's my one hot take about like the NES. I think other people did the art better.
It's noted in the minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, I gave my vote to Super Mario 3, alright?
Yeah.
Let it be known, I gave my vote.
So, with our votes out of the way, we'll go back to our last week's debate where we covered our community tournament bracket that we had done for the best non-playable character, and Mateo representing Otacon versus Caden. You debated last week, right? Versus Caden representing the RE4 merchant, winning by a whopping 3 points. Was Mateo representing Otacon.
Whoa.
Welcome to the winners table.
Welcome to the winners table.
Awesome. I thought the merchant was taking it. Those impersonations at the end.
Yeah. Maybe change your pants before you come sit up at the big boys table. But other than that.
No, it's well deserved. Otacon has so much depth and history. The merchant's just literally a walking meme, but it's such a good meme.
It was funny because I only recently played RE8, but I was like, oh, why wasn't the Duke in like that conversation? But it's because he literally does travel with the main character for a very short amount of time. But
yeah. Disqualified. All right.
And with that out of the way, we'll move on into the pitch.
All right. Well, thank you, Mateo and Jacob, for that fine debate. And it is now time for the pitch, wherein a handful of us panelists will have 2 minutes to make an elevator pitch on a mystery game, and the rest of us will decide if we will buy it or not based on the pitch. First up to the pitcher's mound will be Jonah Gomez. You'll have 2 minutes to present your pitch. Are you ready for your countdown?
I absolutely am ready for my countdown.
All right, 3, 2, 1, pitch.
So, I've been playing this little game. It's actually not a little game. It's a pretty big deal game. It's been super fun. It's got really good shooting mechanics. Well, there are a plethora of different weapons in the game. You can only use one at a time, but you end up unlocking different abilities throughout the game, and it's got this cool roguelite slash Metroidvania approach to it. It has incredible voice acting in it and some like wild sci-fi storytelling, and oh man, it's super fun. It does atmosphere really well. While it's not like a spooky game, it just has really tense atmosphere, and I couldn't get enough of it. It's got just a lot of mystery behind it, and I'm trying not to say a whole lot because it gets into spoilers for it, because the story is super solid and I do want people to check it out. My buddy let me borrow this game, and you know what? I'm just gonna leave it right there. It's got really nice, tight gameplay.
30 seconds on the clock. Very interesting. I feel like, you know, I'm kind of on the pulse with roguelites, and I can't think of a mystery sci-fi shooter one where you can only have one weapon at a time. So, but, you know, Metroidvania roguelike sci-fi, I mean, I'm kind of in. What are you guys thinking?
My biggest thing is, like you said about tension, and tension to me correlates to blue balls. So is there an arrival? Like, do you make it? Like, is there that point where you're just like, damn, that hits?
Yes.
That's
there.
Hey,
okay,
no
so
offense. Like, you know,
so
I'm 100 meters. I'm a 100-meter dasher. I'm about the arrival.
There is an arrival, but then it's like, oh wait, there's more.
Ooh, Kama Sutra. Okay. Sorry,
Hey, Mateo, you picking this one up?
This game sounds very mysterious to me. And as a man that found this site where you can buy like 10 random Steam keys for like $7, you don't get them revealed to you until after you spend your money. I'm probably in. Honestly, I've spent money on things without knowing what is going to come out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Loot box
Mystery
Steam
box.
keys. This is new. Yeah.
How you feeling, Jacob? What's up your alley?
It sounds. My question.
You cut out.
We go back with the question again. We cut out.
You cut out.
My question to you.
Every time you say my question to you, it cuts out.
It must be censored.
A, B, C,
yeah.
D, E, F, G.
Can you?
No.
Is it not working?
It's weird. It cuts it out.
Is there like something loud in the
landing?
background? Because it sounds like there's something loud in the background that might be drowning it out.
Might be picking up like an aircon or something.
Oh yeah, I guess you could try to turn off Crisper in Discord. I mean the crisp.
How about now?
Crisp. Yes. Try again.
Now it sounds like
Say
your
some more.
radio call in.
That's kind of cool. It's a vibe.
Oh.
It's a vibe. We're getting a call in from Jacob. Yeah, he's calling in.
We did hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you're-
good. That's
you're
good.
coming.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
definitely
okay.
a vacuum cleaner.
Now let's
Yeah,
pretend
there's-
like
Okay.
that happened.
I'll say it really quick before
Yeah.
No.
the heater.
You definitely say it really quick before the whatever came.
How's the music?
Ooh, that's a good
Oh,
question.
okay.
That's a good question.
Okay. This is all
'Cause
staying
tension
in,
and
by the way.
music
This is
goes all
all
together,
staying in.
yeah.
I was thinking about cutting it out, but I love this. The music is good. It really adds to that atmosphere. It's kind of, I'd say, it's not exactly like Breath of the Wild, but it kind of does that thing that Breath of the Wild does, where it just kind of builds onto the atmosphere of the game.
Right.
So, yeah.
Go.
One more question before we jump onto the buy or not. So, you've said tension, music is building the atmosphere. So, what is the spookometer out of 0 to 10?
Spookometer.
Spookometer.
Depends on the spooky, you know?
It depends on...
Yeah, it's true. I'm a bitch, so...
There are some segments that are, like, just a couple minutes long that are, like, atmospherically spooky. It's, like, in between a jump scare and not. But, like... you do get, like, really tense, like, gameplay spooky. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die, and then you might be able to, like, squeeze out of it. So
yeah.
It's above average on the spooky
jump
meter.
Scare
Maybe.
edging,
yeah, jump scare edging. I like that.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay, I could go for edging. Yeah.
Cool. All right, well, I'll buy. I'm buying.
Okay,
Steven, you're buying.
I'm curious. I'm very much on the bitch side of scary games, but yeah, that one definitely sounds interesting.
So this game is Returnal.
Oh,
I thought so.
I'm in.
I forgot about
I'm
it.
100% in.
Nice.
It is
Has this been announced for
so
PC
good,
yet?
dude. Yes, it just released for PC like a month or two ago. It is incredible, dude. It is so good.
Awesome.
Sick. All right,
The only reason I'm in is because of the Metroid Prime map. That's the only reason.
Right, the 3D.
So yeah, it's got a really solid map. Once you figure out, like, there's like fast travel points in the map, so like even in a single run you'll be like, oh, there's this thing here, I don't have enough of like this currency to spend it, so I'll just go. Or there's like a health thing here that I could use later, pardon me, so I'll just go. You end up getting just like kicked in a little bit, and so you'll be like, oh sweet, fast travel point, you teleport there, and you're looking through that awesome map as you're teleporting, and just like the particle effects and the bullet hell-ness of this game that Housemarque is just known for their bullet hell games.
Have you beaten the boss?
Yes. So the first boss
nice.
was extremely hard, and I went to the second area, and I died that run, and then my next run was go to the second area, beat the second boss first try, went through, went to the third area, beat the third boss first try, and I thought I had beaten the game. I was like, wow, this game's kind of short, but I guess it's meant for like replayability. And I was like, oh dude, I really missed so much, because different parts of
you
like
die enough times.
the different parts of like the house that's like in the trailers and stuff, that unlocks the farther you progress. And so and like the house only shows up in the first part, or the first area. So I was like, I missed so much of the game, but like it kind of restarts after the third boss, and then you're in like Act 2. And it's like, oh, there's a lot more of this game. So it's really good.
I've got a big question to ask, because my biggest detractor from Hades, and it's memed to death, is the Bone Hydra being just like an average boss, and you have to hit it every single time. Is it that, or do they avoid that? Are all the bosses really fun?
Like, are there shortcuts to like skip bosses?
So when you beat a boss, you get a like what is it called?
Ability?
You get power? So after the first boss, you unlock like a gate key that allows you to go into the second area. After you beat the second boss, you get an ability that allows you to skip the second boss in future runs. And then
you don't have to fight them if you don't want to.
Yeah.
So like if you want to fight them, it's for XP or like possibly upgrades or something.
Yeah. So
otherwise you don't have to.
When you start, when you start a new, so the going back through the bosses would be an optional thing, and there are things locked behind the boss room that will allow you to unlock different abilities. So like you can go pick up like these cubes that you can only hold one of, and you can only like decode these cubes, which would be like abilities and items that you can just unlock in runs or pick up in runs. The only way to do that is to beat the boss, go to that room, unlock it, and then progress.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I've heard the stuff they did with the actual the new PlayStation DualShock controller with that game in particular is extremely impressive.
Yeah, so the haptic triggers are really awesome with it. When it's raining in certain spots, you feel the rain hitting. It feels like rain's on the back of the controller. The sand, it kind of has that running in sand kind of feel. Yeah.
So weird. So I had not a chance to get my hands on those.
Mm-hmm. It's
really sweet. Cool. Well, Returnal, glad to hear it's still holding up, and let's get those PlayStation exclusives on PC.
Yes, sir.
Take that, Crystal.
One other thing before we go on to Jacob's pitch. They added so much stuff to this game since launch. There's now co-op, you can go in with a buddy and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And they can help you out.
Does the other player just look like a clone of the main character?
I believe so. I don't know. I didn't do any of the co-op, but it is available from the beginning. And then once you get one of the abilities, you have access to a tower mode. So is just as roguelike as it gets. The base game is a roguelite, whereas the roguelite, so you're just starting from zero. You start with just a plain pistol, no upgrades, nothing, and you just have to defeat towers, levels in the tower, and there's combos, so you're trying to get you to do it fast. But I got 10, 15 levels up in the tower, and they got more story stuff focused around the tower stuff too, and I was like, oh man, this is a lot. So it's jam-packed with really cool, interesting lore and story stuff.
Sick. All right, Returnal. You've been nominated for the pitcher's mound, Jacob. Are you ready for your countdown?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, pitch.
All right. So there's this game, and it's got a yellow cover. All right. Okay. So I want to take you guys to your couch. All right. I want you to just sit on that couch. You had a long day at work. You're sitting with a family member or your best friend. You guys are maybe sharing a pizza, maybe smoking or drinking or just enjoying the evening. All right. And you guys want to play a little game. All right. But what game is there to play that is either fun to play with someone else? Is it a two? You've got 3 people there. You've got 4 people there. What's a good game that's not Mario Party that you can play with your friends and not feel like it's some
friendships?
Right. And okay? So I want to take you to a game that's called a couch co-op. And I know you guys know about these, all right? But with this one, I want you to imagine yourself on a spaceship floating in space. Okay? Everyone here is in the game. You guys are all on a ship with me. And I'm going to give all of you guys your own spot on the ship that you want to control.
30 seconds remaining.
So you can choose to be a shooter to protect our ship from upcoming alien beasts flying at us in the middle of space. One person can be in charge of the shields that can protect the entire ship. Choose where you want the shield. Is it down, left, right, protect us? And then, who gets to be the pilot? Do you want to be the pilot? Do you want to do pilot for 5 minutes? Switch with someone else? It's up to you in this game.
Oh, dude.
This sounds so cool.
Only one idea, and my question is this a VR game?
No.
Are you thinking of the Star Trek Commando?
That is the only thing I was thinking about. Yeah.
I was just saying, this is gonna let me live my best life as a Star Trek fan. I grew up on that Captain Picard, Bald King, Next Generation. So I'm in. Dang. Is there a person who's the captain who's trying to control the situation and give orders to the other players, or like is it just like pure chaos?
I would say that if you're the captain, you are actually flying the ship.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
Very cool.
one person's shooting, one person's protecting, and one person's flying.
Are there set roles, or are you able to switch on the fly depending on?
You can switch on the fly.
Oh my god! You run over to like the other control station.
Exactly. Yep.
Got some
Oh my god.
Deep Rock Galactic vibes for.
Do things happen like on your ship? That you have to, while things are happening externally?
So the great thing about this is throughout the game you can actually get different types of jewels, and if you mix the jewels, it upgrades the ship.
Interesting.
But each part of the ship, let's say you are the shooter, if you mix this jewel with this jewel, it turns the shooter into maybe a shoot that shots a triple shot. But if you mix this jewel and this jewel, it could be a straight huge beam.
Yeah.
Oh,
so there's the but that's just the shooter.
Jewel economy.
Let's say you're the pilot, the captain. Your station can also take jewels. So if you mix a blue jewel and an orange jewel, that could give you a thrust, whereas in a red jewel and a blue jewel could give you pulsing that shoots a gun out of the back of your thing, out of the back of your ship. So that's just the captain, and we're not even talking about the different roles with the different jewels that change the parts of the ship.
This sounds like just a straight up shmup, but I'm so confused. Like, this is wild. Like, I would say, first of all, I don't have any friends. I'm sorry.
Can I tell you something, Steven?
Yeah.
This would be a perfect game for you and your child to play together.
Ooh, damn.
You don't.
I've played a lot of co-op games with my son. So...
I'm just saying, if you got kids, also, if you don't have friends and you have kids, also you can play it solo. But I'm just saying it is built as a co-op, and if you don't have people there, you can play it with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because like for a second I was like, oh, maybe it's like Among Us, and then you're just explaining all these roles. It's clearly not Among Us.
How's the like tension inducement of this? You know, I'm thinking of like Overcooked, you know, or like ends marriages.
So right. I don't know if you guys remember this old game. It's running a blank for me, but it was a game where it was a king and a queen, and the point was to pull a coffin. Do you guys remember that game?
No.
So it was a super cartoony, and the whole point of the game, it was a 2-player game, kind of like it Takes Two, where it's two people, it's a king and a queen, and you are pulling a coffin that has wheels through a world, and you have to get the 8 different worlds, but it's a total co-op. So you'd have to jump up on a platform, throw it down, then the lady would have to hold the queen would have to hold the coffin climbing. This game almost ended me and my wife, right? Because it was like just grab the freaking rope. You know what I mean? It was one of those. And then what you said, what was the game you just mentioned? Overcooked. Now that Oliver, my son, got that. And
that hurts.
Am I right with this game? The first like 5 levels, it's like we love each other. This was awesome. And then you put the conveyor belts in, and we're done. You couldn't even get past the level. You're like, I guess we can't.
So much fire.
Like we can't. That's what I don't like about Overcooked is it got to a point where you just can't go any farther. Like the best you play, the best you play, you can't beat it. Like
1 star.
And I don't like that you can't. Yeah, you can't get past that. Now to answer your question, Caden, this game is neither the coffin game nor Overcooked. You very tactfully can get through all the levels. It is stress-inducing, but there is a replay value in them, whereas if you make a mistake, you learn from your mistake, and you fix it the next time without arguing. people because you're like, oh, that's what we have to do. It's not a purpose like, why didn't you do it? It's like, this is what we have to do. So it's a very calm stress, but it's a much more enjoyable multiplayer game.
Hell yeah, I'm in, dude. This sounds
I'm
so
in.
rad.
Yeah, co-op is definitely in my alley. Like any sort of multiplayer is cool, but like if I'm fighting against my son, it usually just devolves too quickly, and he doesn't want to play up. Like Mario Party doesn't last more than 2 rounds, and it's like we're done.
You're supposed to go easy on him in the mini games, Steven.
Hell no! My son beat me in Mario Kart 64 in one race the other day. I was gutted. I was freaking gutted.
Did he smack talk you after he won?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in. If I find a co-op game, me and my son, hell yeah.
Sick. What have we won, Jacob?
All right, you guys ready? You guys
won. I already own the game and I am in. For the record.
How do you know what this game is? I have no idea.
You guys have won all boxed copies of
There's one over my chair right now.
Your address is after the show, and send them out. The game is called, drumroll please. And by the way, the most random title in the world has nothing to do with the game. The game is titled Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time.
Such a good game.
I feel like
we've all seen this
I
game.
actually own this on the Wii U or something, like because it was in a Humble Bundle. I actually feel like
it's a really good game. It is a super solid game. I've played it with my nieces and nephews. He's right. It's a really solid game for playing with younger gamers.
It is.
Does it have online?
It's on Steam. It's on Nintendo. I'm not sure about the other consoles, but I know that if you want to play it, it's
very
definitely
cheap
available.
from what I know. It's not super expensive.
It looks like on the eShop it's $14.99.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very affordable.
But and Steam $7.49.
Oh, screw that Switch tax. PC Master Race, let's go.
It's one of those super chill games, just a really, calming, it is stressful, like Mateo said, it's like it's good to play with younger kids because they're not as stressed out, but you and your significant other are just chilling out. It's not going to be like, I hate you're sleeping on the couch kind of thing at all.
I'm going back to the fantasy you painted for us in the beginning where we're on the couch, we're high, we're drinking beer and pizza. I'm just like, Jonah's sitting next to me, I'm like, yo, Jonah, can I get that red crystal? And you're like, yeah, bro, I got that red crystal right here for you, bro. And I'm like, sick.
Pizza, American honey, weed, and like Mario Kart 4 is like that's like my utopia. So yeah, I'm down for any sort of co-op in that.
All right, yeah, we gotta do a little group stream for Lovers in Dangerous Space-Time.
Yeah,
rad.
Sick. All right, never had that game sold to me before, but now I get it and I want it. All right, cool. Last up, Mateo, are you ready for your countdown?
I am.
3, 2, 1, pitch.
I want to talk about everyone's favorite genre of game. The fishing game.
Yes.
Fishing game.
Yes.
Let me tell you about this voyage that I've been on recently. I've caught so many fish. I've just been spending my days in the water just catching fish, just nonstop all day. And, a lot of people think that, like, the fishing games, there's not innovation happening in that gaming sphere. There's not, in that space of the world, there's just not a lot of gaming, innovation happening. And I want to tell you that you're wrong. Did you know that they have added roguelites into the fishing world now?
Nani?
And I've been spending my time doing runs of just grabbing fish and exploring this beautiful world. And it's kind of a game changer. I might be like I might be full on the fishing genre now. It might be my favorite genre of games.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
But there's more. Much like Billy Mays, I'm here to tell you that there's more. on top of this beautiful, gorgeous fishing game, is also this restaurant management game. because obviously after you catch the fish, you have to make them into sushi, obviously. And this is where the game gets real weird, because you're doing this. It's this fishing game with the business side of it, and the business side is kind of like this not nightmare, but like this fever dream combination of managing a business while also being in like an anime world, because all the cutscenes are just dripping with anime like swagger coming off of them.
Gold.
And we haven't even mentioned the boss fights, because obviously in fishing games you need boss fights, right?
Take my money!
Jonah's thinking of Restaurant to Another World. 100%.
Yes, dude.
All right, I just have to ask one.
I'm sitting here. I'm sitting wondering, where is the DLC for this Animal Crossing? I gotta
know. Hell yeah, man. Okay, sorry, go, Caden. Yeah.
Okay, so cutscenes, anime, restaurant management. Like, are there like dating sim elements in here?
Not that I've found yet, but I have gotten characters' phone numbers though, and I call them, and they mostly tell me to stop calling them. So I don't know if it builds to something eventually.
Okay, I bet you there's romance in this game.
Okay, my question, because I have one unfortunate thing. I love the idea of owning a shop in a video game, but then
even just buy the game. Just buy the game.
No, but the actual doing of it is always stressful, and that was Lamplighter for me, in the fact that like it was very hard time.
Moonlighter?
Moonlighter.
Oh, Moonlighter's good.
Like running the shop was stressful. Like I wanted to run the shop but slowly and like do what I wanted to do, and then go out and do the dungeon crawling. So how stressful is the running of the shop? Because and also the second question is, what's the actual fishing mechanic? Like what's the mini game?
So the fishing mechanic depends on which weapon you're using to catch the fish. For some of them, you have to rotate your mouse either either direction, or your D-pad, or whatever, your joystick in either direction. For some of them, it's like a quick time event, and you have to press 2 keys when you're prompted. For some of them, it's just a straight up tapping thing. You just have to tap and get the bar up all the way.
Active.
Very active.
Yes.
That sounds good. That's good. What about the sim mechanic?
The business side of it, it starts off very easy, and then it gets real hard, and then you have this moment of like, oh, I can hire other people to help me run my shop, and then it gets pretty easy again.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Can you pay your employees a living wage?
I would hope so, but
good health insurance.
Only tips.
I don't know the economy of the world that this game is happening on, unfortunately, but they do seem happy.
See, that's how rich he is. He doesn't have to worry about paying his employees. They just come to work.
Yeah. Dang, this game seems fresh.
All right, Jacob.
Ready for the experience.
How are you feeling on this one?
I'm buying, baby.
He's buying, baby.
I'm buying, baby. All it took was this.
Yeah. You see me rolling?
That's the real on
your All right, Mateo, what is it? What have we purchased?
This game is Dave the Diver, dude, and it is It is breaking my brain how good this game is. You play as this little this very rotund diver named Dave, and you're just jumping into the water. You do 2 dives per day, and there's a whole fishing side to it, right? You're grabbing fish for your restaurant, but I didn't even get into like the exploration side, because there's like an ancient race that you're trying to uncover evidence of. There's boss fights with sharks and various other sea creatures. It's got a lot. It's early access right now, but it's still pretty filled at this point.
I'm loving this like 3D pixel art.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we
got the HD 2D.
Okay.
The things that I want.
Is that what we're talking?
Yes. Yeah. The things that I want from this game, they have an amazing soundtrack, and I want them to make it so I can swap songs from my from my phone while I'm exploring. I don't want to hear the same song every time I dive.
Yeah.
But it's early access. There's so much more to come in this game.
So are you going down on a line like?
No, you're diving. You have to upgrade your suits.
Diving?
Yes,
Okay.
and you have to upgrade your suit so you can go further. You upgrade your air so you can go further. There's weapon chests you unlock.
You know what this reminds me of? Yeah, SteamWorld Dig, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely gives
like
me SteamWorld
SteamWorld
Dig. The only problem is I don't know what the actual like term for it is, but like deep water freaks me the f out. So,
Yeah,
like,
thalassophobia.
Absolute, even though it was like very chill, it was
Oh my god!
terrifying.
It
to
looks
me.
like there's sea monsters,
Oh.
Steven, from the
Oh
screenshots.
god.
There are
So,
100% sea monsters.
Oh god!
Okay, yeah. So
Can you
that's
fish the sea
probably-
monster?
Yes.
Do you remember,
It's a
Steven, do you
push.
remember Echo the Dolphin?
yeah.
And if I just noticed, guys, a 20% off on Steam right now.
Yeah.
$15.99.
oh.
Wow.
It's such a good
What's that-
game.
What's that 3D one where you build a base like with like the leviathans and stuff?
Oh
Subnautica.
yeah, Subnautica.
That I could not do.
Yeah,
So,
that,
yeah.
as long
that
as
would
it's less scary than that, I'd be chill.
You should
yeah,
check out
it is
Wrapped,
pixel art side
Steven.
scroller.
You should check
it is
out
definitely
Wrapped.
not as scary. Yeah, it's definitely not as scary as that one. Subnautica
If I'm
also
on
gives
top
me a
of the
lot of
water,
anxiety.
It's cool. If I'm under the water, not as. Yeah.
About 9,000 reviews over its life on Steam. Overwhelmingly positive, 97%
Hell yeah.
positive
It's
reviews.
such a happy,
97%.
joyful
Holy
game.
moly.
It's got Steam Deck support, so it plays fantastically on my Steam Deck. I was sitting on the couch
Hey.
yesterday playing Dave the Diver and watching Stranger Things. It was a
Watch out
perfect
for
Saturday.
Dave.
Dang.
You're gonna remember that name.
Yeah. After this pitch. Wow. Didn't expect to come into the podcast today hyped for Dave the Diver. Didn't even know it existed.
It's the biggest meme of video games, but loving fishing mini games. But it's all about the context and what you actually are pushing on the buttons, like, and to have multiple different presses of a fishing mini game. I'm in. 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the month of fishing games for me, dude. Dredge comes out in just like a week and change.
Horror fishing game is just wild.
Lovecraftian horror fishing game. It's gonna be so good, dude.
Gonna fish up Cthulhu and make for
yeah.
Sick.
All right. Well, we got Returnal, Dave the Diver, and Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. Check them out. Thanks, guys, for the pitches, and I'll hand things over to our resident game master, Steven, for the game.
All right, welcome back, lads. Today, I've got a new game. I've been trying to percolate on some new games to liven up the podcast, and coming out with a new one. It's fresh, it's raw, so leave a comment in the Discord or on the YouTube video if it's good or not, and we'll see what we do with it in the future. This is called Great Game, So Lame. So the point of the game is I'll read out a retro game title, and this podcast is going to be retro games. And going around the group, everyone will give their opinion on whether this is a great game or just so lame, with a 2-word, that's only 2-word descriptor. At the end of the round, we're going to argue, and then I will adjudicate on whether or not this is actually a great game or it just deserves to be left in the past and it's just so lame. So, without further ado, I'm going to go hand it over to Jacob with the game Pong. Is it a great game or is it so lame?
Great game. And then my 2 words are going to be original and I'm trying one word. Teamwork.
Oh,
Teamwork. That's
teamwork.
a stretch on one word, but we'll go with original teamwork. All right, Jonah. Is Pong a great game or is it just so lame?
so lame.
Why?
Colorless.
And bland. Ooh, brutal hits. All right, Mateo. Is Pong a great game or is it so lame?
I'm gonna go great game.
Ooh, okay.
I'm gonna go classic and timeless.
I feel it. Caden. So we got the 2 older people representing great game. And what about the other youngster? We got
I know how this is gonna go. Yeah, this is so lame. I'm gonna say no depth.
No depth. There's no progression in Pong. It goes from 1 to 2 to 3. That's all. All right.
No power.
I'm gonna wait up before anyone talks. I'm on the clock. You've got a minute to discuss or fight. Let's go. Open slate.
No one emulates Pong.
I want to. I actually want to say that my opinion is a little tainted because they have this new version of Pong that uses like actual 3D like real blocks, and it's like one of those coffee table games, and it's so good because you see an actual block moving back and forth.
It's not Pong though, because it's a different game.
But it's still Pong. It's the exact same gameplay loop, everything. It's just 3D space.
The world of gaming would be so different if it wasn't for Atari creating Pong, period. It would Nolan Bushnell bringing that to schools and people playing it. It was so changing for the gaming world. Okay. Yes, it is. In these days, Jonah, listen.
5.
These days, super boring, black and white. But it's the game. It's the start of it all.
Okay, real quick, Steven. Real quick.
Real quick. Wait. Bonus time. Go, Jonah. Go.
Okay. It's like taking one of the best arcade games, air hockey, but worse.
Oh, mic drop.
Okay, I'm gonna adjudicate on this. The big parry was Caden saying no one emulates Pong. That's a massive parry. It's bam! Got opened up. The defenses were down. But then Mateo came in and said someone made an actual analog version of it. And it's not air hockey. And air hockey is freaking absolutely goated. But it was not air hockey. It is an actual 3D representation of Pong. And yes, we don't care about computer space. We care about Pong. Pong is the origin. We don't care about computer space. I don't care. No one cares. That alone, the fact that someone can 3D represent Pong, I'm sorry, it is a great game. It is a great game. And Jonah, you're in bonus time, so whatever you said doesn't count. You suck.
It's fair. I've done it to you. It's fair.
Side note for Steven, we have one of those 3D Pongs here in Portland, and it is weird.
Nice. And weird. Yeah, I like weird. I'm down for weird.
If these things weren't $1,000, I would buy one of these tables. They're so expensive.
I'll throw it forward one space to Jonah. Okay, we're going to start with Sonic 2. Great game, so lame.
Man, being the negative Nancy on this episode, I guess.
It happens.
So lame. Worse Mario?
Damn. All right, Mateo. Sonic 2, great game. So
I know that I just went on my other podcast recently and said that I'm a Sonic 2 man, but I think my opinion might have changed. We're gonna go so lame, no Knuckles.
Ooh, damn. All right, Caden. Great game, so lame. Sonic 2.
So lame. No desire. As in, I have no desire to ever play this game or know anything about it or care.
This is. I'm hurting.
Yeah. I mean, Sonic is just that series. I don't understand how.
I know. I 100% know.
Anyway.
You don't get more than 2 words. Stop talking. Jacob. Great game, so lame. Sonic 2.
Great game. Music.
Yeah, okay.
For 1 minute starting. At least we have a fight, because I thought we'd just wash over and we'd go to the next game. All right, let's fight it out.
Let's give it to Jacob to give his point first.
I just want you to Okay, you've never played Sonic 2. That's fine. Never pretend your eyes are closed. I just want you to the first 3 levels music and tell me you don't end up listening to every song in that whole soundtrack. It is so good. It is so catchy, and you don't even have to like the game to appreciate the music in that game. Also, I don't know why, but that the bonus scene where you're running in the half pipe, that shit always got me. I was
okay. Great music does not
haters.
A good game make.
Yeah,
you can't just because the game has a good soundtrack doesn't make it. We were just talking about how nobody beat Octopath Traveler because like the art and the music's amazing in that game, but the gameplay's stale as hell.
Yeah,
so.
you took my point. I was gonna say that too.
Sonic CD is the better game. That's my point.
That is the grossest comment I've ever heard. I've never heard someone represent CD.
Dude, it's got that song, Sonic Booms, Sonic Booms. You don't remember that?
Ooh, that's CD quality, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that hurts because I'm not a Sonic lover at heart because I just think like Green Hill Zone's amazing, but the best part about playing Sonic is not playing the game when you just speed through the levels. Like,
it's like this game doesn't fight with itself. I've never understood it.
Yeah. I honestly think like my hot take about Sonic is the idea of the Genesis's marketing hurt Sonic the most for its longevity. Sonic goes fast. The name Sonic itself is a fast word.
Yeah.
And it's never been able to catch up to its legacy of like going fast, like to be a good
Went
game
too fast
to
for
play.
his britches.
I don't think it's possible to do super speed as an enjoyable gameplay mechanic.
When people say like, "Oh, can we make a Superman game or a Flash game?" No, you can't. It would suck. It would just generally suck.
Unless
imagine Microsoft Flight Simulator, but at like 10 times speed. Why?
Yeah.
It's bullet
it's a great game or so lame, Steven. You have to.
I'm sorry. Sonic 2 is just so lame.
Hey, we'll give the music credit.
All right, you want to give us a good game now, Steven?
Mega Drive. I'm sorry.
Let's hope. Let's do one more, and you give us a good game.
Oh, just one more?
Yeah,
all right, I'll choose out of these. I've chosen a bunch of terrible games. Donkey Kong, here we go.
Okay.
I'm going to throw it to Mateo first, but so then Jonah's going to wrap it up. Donkey Kong, great game, so lame.
We're going to go so lame, and my words will be Billy Mitchell.
Silly Mitchell.
Yeah.
This is so lame. All right, Kaden, great game, so lame.
Great game, high scores.
Ooh, dopamine.
Yeah, get this.
All right,
you gotta
Jacob.
get your ASS name and then get it. Let's go.
Great game.
This one hits way close to the heart, but so great, and it's gonna be legacy and classic.
Yes.
All right,
We're
Jonah.
gonna say
Great game, so lame.
Great game. Jump
Yes.
Man, baby.
Jump Man.
I'll play it right
God,
now.
I wish I could fight on this part because I have words. 1 minute. Let's fight it out. Come on, I'm gonna start with Mateo because he's the so lame. Let's go. 1 minute.
I just want to toss it out there. I'm actually really bad at arcade games, so I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of most of them. Like I understand the legacy of games like Galaga and Centipede and Donkey Kong, all of these. I think that the legacy is so cool, but I'm so bad at them. I just can't enjoy the gameplay loop in them.
Can I tell you something, Mateo? It's supposed to be like that to take your money.
100%. So I've got a side story because I think that I'm losing this debate. I think I'm being out. I got a side story. I took a girl on a date one time. We went to Dave & Buster's and we played Galaga. And I lasted 10 seconds in that stage, 30 seconds before I died. And she would go through multiple stages. It was the worst date I ever went on.
Steven knows what that's like.
I've lasted 30 seconds on a date. 10.
It introduced Mario, and the hammer is so awesome. You feel like a rock star when you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hammer's dope. The hammer lives on. Damn.
Smash Bros.
See, my only argument, and no one brought it up, is fall damage. Like, freaking Jumpman invented fall damage, and Or, I don't know
didn't know it had
but
fall
I
damage.
blame
I didn't either.
Jumpman for fall damage.
Yeah.
If you don't jump when an elevator is right at your level, you die.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it's brutal.
You can't fall from
But
it.
yeah, no, Donkey Kong, great game. We got a burger place that took it out, but they had a top-down cabinet, so you'd be waiting for some top-tier freaking burgers and playing Donkey Kong. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, great
Sick.
game.
100%.
Man.
Cool. Well, thank you so
All
much
right.
for the game, Steven. I really loved this brainchild of yours. Hope to play it again soon in the
That was
future.
good.
Yeah,
Great job.
this was actually really good.
Yeah.
Great
So,
game.
Thank you.
Ooh.
There you go.
Thank you. All right.
Getting a little meta there. Well, folks, we made it to the end of the podcast. Congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. We'll go around real quick. Anybody can have their final thoughts. As our guest, Jacob, will let you go first. Anything that's on your mind for final thoughts, anything you want to plug, just go for it.
Yeah. Just want to thank you guys all for inviting me on the podcast. It's been an honor, and I appreciate you guys making stuff like this, because though the community is huge of retro gamers, there's still room to teach our kids and teach our friends about old school games and new school games. There's something magically you guys have though in the Great Game Debate Discord. So I want to say that if you're not part of watching, definitely join it, because within the first 5 minutes of me joining, I was being it was like a cheering ovation. So it's very welcoming. I appreciate the podcast and everybody, and just keep your mind open. Don't shut yourself to just one type of game. Go beyond your comfort zone. Play something else, even if it does suck. You might end up liking it. So being a gamer is about trying it all.
Heck yeah, dude.
That was so wholesome. I feel
Love it.
good.
I like that.
All right, Mateo, final thoughts.
This was a fun one. This is a good one.
Yeah.
I'm super happy to have joined y'all. In this whole wholesome good vibes kind of mood that we're in. Go check out Please Be Nice to Me. It's on this channel,
Yes.
All Good No Worries. It's a new Rooster Teeth channel they have. It's for feminine leading, femme styled content. This show though, Please Be Nice to Me, might be my favorite game show that's come out recently.
That's really funny.
Heck yeah.
Sick.
Sorry.
Steven, final thoughts.
I don't know. My brain just works in weird ways. People might think that the best freaking breakdown call out in metalcore is disrespect your surroundings from A Day to Remember, but I want to propose listen to Romance is Dead by Parkway Drive. The call out and the breakdown is top tier.
All right.
Sick.
You know what? If you want to check that out, you can go to our music room tab on the Discord and check it out, because Steven will be posting a Spotify link for it, or you can do a YouTube link, because some people don't have Spotify.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I've been your host, Kid
What?
Birthday Lane. Dang
Skipping
it! I
me,
keep forgetting
bro?
people.
Oh man, you're skipping Steven, now you're skipping me.
Jonah doesn't get a turn.
You're next,
he was in
Mateo.
bonus. He was in bonus time. He doesn't get a turn.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
geez.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Jonah.
We're going to PAX West, baby. It's still 6 months away, but Mateo bought his tickets. You can come hang out with Mateo and I up there. There's going to be a bunch of us. I know both the Pearson brothers are going to be there. We're going to be having a good time, checking out games. Oh, dude, I'm so excited. I've been super pumped. We're going to really try and get some media badges. That way we can bring some exclusive Great Game Debate coverage for you guys, so you guys can check it out and just see some awesome indie games. We have a Redbubble store if you guys want to get a sweet Great Game Debate shirt or sticker, water bottle, mouse pad. I think we've got shower curtains on there too, but we've got hats and all sorts of stuff. They gave us the option, and I almost clicked yes on everything. So check out our Redbubble store. All of the proceeds that we get, everything we get, it goes straight back into the community. Nobody's taking any of it home. We had competition a couple weeks ago for people creating character creation, and you just had to make the best character you could. And so we got a $10 PlayStation gift card to that person who won, and congratulations. But yeah, so stoked. Can't wait for the rest of the year. Gaming is good, and it's just getting better.
Yeah, boy. Something in the air for 2023 in the world of gaming.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of bangers coming out this year. All right, well, for real this time, I've been your host, Kate. My wife and I just...
You're breaking up.
You're breaking up.
Testing.
Testing.
Testing 1 2.
His face is frozen over.
Testing.
Oh.
Testing 1 2.
There we go. Okay,
Testing, 1, 2.
now close the show.
All right. My final thoughts are Desiree got robbed in season 3 of Next in Fashion. That hot pink tailored 50s biker jacket was something else. But she had a model from the 50s. Dude was like 70 something. Like,
wow.
It wasn't cool. But anyway, happy gaming. Bye.
Bye.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Misdriven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MIST_RIVEN719 or on Bandcamp at Misdriven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time.
I can pitch first.
Cool.
Yeah. That works.
We'll just do a guest sandwich. So I'll pitch,
right.
Jacob will pitch, and then Mateo.
Perfect.
Peanut butter and Jacob sandwich.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh my god.